Imagine looking up at the night sky tomorrow, right? You expect to see that familiar glowing sphere, but instead you just find an endless, empty void of stars. What would happen if the moon just suddenly vanished tomorrow? No warning, no blinding explosion, just gone. It's a pretty terrifying premise, isn't it? In this explainer, we're going to explore a scenario that sounds entirely like pure science fiction, but the actual scientific consequences are incredibly real and absolutely devastating. We really have to ask ourselves, without our silent sentinel up there in the sky, could Earth as we know it even survive the aftermath? Think about the eerie suddenness of an event like that, just blank space where the moon used to be. The immediate silence of it all is honestly what makes it so chilling. But the real nightmare wouldn't be what we see, or rather what we don't see. It would be what we feel. Would our oceans just remain the same? What would happen to the incredibly intricate balance of nature? And the biggest question of all, could life itself actually be at risk? Okay, let's dive into this and uncover exactly what would unfold if Earth were suddenly left all alone.
Section 1. The Vanishing Moon.
So, before we totally strip the moon away from our skies and plunge into chaos, we need to establish just how deeply connected Earth really is to this rocky satellite, because it's so much more than just a beautiful nightlight. For over 4 billion years, the moon has been Earth's silent companion. Throughout the vast majority of our planet's entire history, the moon has been right there, locked in this delicate gravitational dance with us. It lights up our night sky, sure, but it also influences our planet in profound, mechanical ways. Removing it isn't just taking away a piece of the scenery, it's literally removing a fundamental gear from the machinery of our planet. Section 2. Dark skies and still oceans.
The crazy part is, the moment the moon vanishes, the changes wouldn't take millions of years to notice. We would feel the terrifying effects that very first night and wake up to a completely transformed planet the morning after. Reflected sunlight is just instantly gone. Because the moon basically acts as a giant mirror for the sun, our nights would become profoundly pitch black. And this presents an immediate crisis for life on Earth. Many animals, specifically nocturnal species, depend heavily on that moonlight to hunt, to navigate, and to survive. Without that ambient glow, nocturnal animals would instantly struggle to adapt, essentially throwing entire food chains into absolute chaos literally overnight.
But the darkness is really only the beginning. The next major crisis strikes our oceans. Lunar gravity drives the large dynamic ocean tides we are all so used to. But on a totally moonless Earth, without that gravitational pull, those dramatic tides would just vanish, leaving behind much smaller, weaker swells. And the result? Coastal ecosystems that rely entirely on the flushing and churning of these tides for nutrients and survival would face immediate devastation. The vibrant life at the edges of our continents would just be forever altered.
Section 3. Earth's unstable axis. Now we're moving well beyond just visual darkness and still waters and into massive planetary-scale mechanical disruptions. The absolutely crucial point here is understanding Earth's tilt. The angle of Earth's axis is actually currently stabilized by the gravitational pull of the moon. You can think of the moon as a giant invisible anchor. As Earth spins, the moon's gravity keeps us from tipping too far over in any one direction. It's this invisible, thankless job, but it is absolutely essential for the stability of our entire world. Without that anchor, a pretty disastrous sequence of events unfolds. First, the moon's stabilizing gravity vanishes entirely. Then, lacking that balancing weight, Earth's axis begins to wobble dramatically over time. We wouldn't just spin smoothly anymore. We'd pitch and roll unpredictably. And ultimately, this leads to extreme global climate chaos. You see, our seasons are directly tied to the stability of our tilt. With our axis wobbling out of control, entire regions could plunge into flash ice ages, while others just bake in unprecedented heat. The climate as we know it would become completely chaotic and unpredictable across the whole planet.
Section 4. The Shifting of Time.
Losing the moon wouldn't just mess with our oceans and weather, though. It would actually warp our fundamental experience of time itself. In the present day, the moon acts as a gentle, continuous brake, slowly and steadily slowing down Earth's rotation. It's actually the reason our day is exactly 24 hours long. But jump millions of years into the future, and without the moon acting as that brake, Earth's rotation would change drastically. The very length of our days would be fundamentally altered, completely upending our clocks, calendars, and even biological rhythms.
Section 5. A Completely Different World.
So, bringing all these catastrophic elements together reveals a pretty wild existential reality. Humanity survives initially, but the long-term effects would reshape all life on Earth.
The sudden disappearance of the moon wouldn't instantly vaporize us, right? We'd survive that first pitch-black night. We'd survive the weakening of the ocean tides. But as years turn into centuries and millennia, the chaotic climate from our wobbling axis and the shifting length of our days would completely transform the globe. The Earth we'd leave behind for future generations would just be a wildly unpredictable, totally unrecognizable world.
And it really leads to this profound realization. The moon may seem distant and silent, but it quietly helps keep our planet stable. We look up at that cold rock floating out there in the void and just take it for granted. But without it, Earth would be a vastly different, much more hostile place. Our silent sentinel is vastly more important to our survival and planetary stability than we ever imagined.
So I want to turn this over to you now. Looking at everything we've unpacked in this explainer today, the pitch-black nights, the dying coastal ecosystems, the extreme climate chaos, or the shifting of time itself, what do you think would be the absolutely most frightening consequence of losing the moon? Take a moment, head down into the comments, and let us know your thoughts. And hey, if you enjoyed diving deep into this fascinating thought experiment with me, make sure you subscribe to Curious Orbit for more incredible facts and discoveries.
Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Until next time, remember to stay curious and keep exploring.